Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel Quaint. Today's video is a scientific deep dive into a topic that is rarely discussed openly. The topic is what you can see the title. The title actually describes well the topic. Reproductive failure happens if a woman becomes ultra thin. Again, other problems are there. So this is the topic of discussion in our today's video. Main focus is reproductive failure. So actually what happens, many people think that body fat is just a stored energy. Body fat is just a stored energy. But this may be true for men, but for women, body fat is not just a stored energy. For women, actually, body fat is a hormone factory. Yes, for women, body fat is just hormone factory. It is more than stored energy. Of course, stored energy is required for women too. But it is more than that because this is hormone factory, this body fat. And body fat means we are not talking about abdominal fat. Body fat means fat stored in the breasts and that location which is actually lower body part, hips, thighs and buttocks. Anyway, so these are the locations of the deposition of body fat. So we are talking about what happens and why this is most important and why we are saying that it is hormone factory, because fat cells actually produce so many things like estrogen, this is hormone, leptin, adiponectin, then reproductive signaling molecules. So many things are produced by fat cells. So if fat cells means if body fat is too low, so this production of these things, that is estrogen, leptin, adiponectin, then reproductive signaling molecules will be hampered. Production of all these things will be hampered. And what will happen? The entire reproductive system will move into a survival mode. Yes, that means actually this is the failure of the reproductive system. This is the failure of the reproductive system. So what happens actually, how a woman become ultra thin? Either by dieting or excessive exercise or due to stress. Okay, either of these three reasons, a woman may become ultra thin. That means her fat levels have gone below the normal fat threshold. We are talking about that kind of women, okay. Body fat has already gone below the normal fat threshold limit, okay. So what happens actually when body fat becomes too low? In that case, the body actually halts the production of so many things like estrogen, leptin, then thyroid hormones, but there is one increase, means levels actually rise. That hormone is known as cortisol hormone, means stress hormone. So when estrogen levels drop, what happens in that case? You know, estrogen is produced from what? Fat cells. That means low body fat, that means low estrogen. And low estrogens means no ovulation. And if no ovulation, that means what? That means infertility. That means missed periods. That means irregular periods. These things may happen due to low estrogen because body fat is too low. Okay, fat cells produce estrogen. So if body fat is too low, therefore levels of estrogen, that also too low. Okay, so there will be no ovulation. Then leptin. So here also leptin levels actually crash. Leptin tells the women's brain the body has sufficient stored energy, enough stored energy, so you can produce, you can reproduce, better to say you can reproduce. That means you can produce babies. Okay. Leptin tells the brain this way, the body has sufficient energy to produce babies. That means the body has sufficient energy to get pregnant. But since there is low body fat, we are talking about only ultra thin women in our today's video. That means body fat level is too low. So leptin level is too low. Therefore, what happens? Just the opposite happens. Stored energy in the body is too low. So stop the reproductive system. Okay, stop the reproductive system. This thing happens because low leptin level is there due to low body fat. Again, thyroid hormones. There is also a reduction in the levels of thyroid hormones. So low T3, that means low metabolism. And that means what? That means fatigue and hair loss. Fatigue and hair loss. These are not connected to reproduction. These are extra effects, extra bad effects. Okay, fatigue and hair loss. And this happens due to the decrease in the thyroid, decrease in the levels of thyroid hormones. One more thing happens, there is a rise of cortisol hormones. And these are what? Stress hormones. And due to the increase in stress hormones levels, the reproductive system is further hampered. Okay, it is further hampered, the reproductive system. So now you can see why body fat is so essential. Body fat is actually essential for women. And actually you know that this thing that women, naturally women have higher body fat percentages as compared to men. Because body fat is the most essential thing for women. For what purposes? Menstruation, pregnancy, ovulation, breastfeeding. These are the main purpose of body fat for women. All are related to reproduction. Menstruation related to reproduction. Ovulation, this is related to reproduction. Breastfeeding, this happens after the childbirth, breastfeeding. Fetal growth, this also related to reproduction. So that's why body fat is most essential for women. Okay. So now you can see the bad effects or the ill effects of a low body fat. And what is the long-term effect of these things? If the body fat level stays low, means low body fat level stays longer, then consequences are deeper. Like osteoporosis due to low estrogen level, osteoporosis. Then chronic fatigue, hair loss, heart rhythm disorders. There is a problem with immunity system. Okay, immunity power, that means low immunity power. So many problems are there. These are the extra effects, extra ill effects of low body fat. So that's why scientists say that the natural curves of women, those are the most essential things. Natural curves happen due to that body fat in special locations, hips, thighs and buttocks. Those are called natural curves. So those are actually most essential things. Okay. That means what? That means becoming ultra thin is not supported by the biology. of the women, of any woman. Okay. Biology does not support this thing. Body fat is most essential. So this was all about today's video. Okay, so you can see reproductive failure is there. Again, some extra failures are there. Extra sufferings are there. And you cannot easily neglect all these extra sufferings. Hair loss, okay, you can easily neglect. You are not worried about your hair, but osteoporosis, you cannot neglect that thing. If you want to live happily, okay, then in that case, you cannot neglect that osteoporosis. You cannot play with your immunity power. Okay. And fatigue, this you need to tolerate. Due to what? Due to low body fat. Of course, there is a limit. We are not talking about increase your body fat as much as possible. Scientists don't say like this. Anyway, actually what happens, women's brain senses low body fat. In that case, it halts the reproductive system. It says that shut down the non-essential systems when the brain senses low body fat. Okay, shut down the non-essential systems. Actually, reproduction is considered as non-essential only during starvation. So low body fat, that means what? That means starvation for your body. Your body interprets this as a starvation phase. Anyway, so this was all about today's video, and this is the end of this video. If you found this video interesting, so please like, share and subscribe to our channel. This is the end. Thanks for watching.